Have you ever sat beside the person you love and felt like oceans stretched between you? Tonight, we're going to bridge that distance together. Hello, hi, I'm Peter Brown, and this is Elderly Paradox, the place where we prove life only gets richer with age. We're unpacking one of the most whispered about topics in senior health, intimacy, because it's never too late to feel close again. Meet our guests, Dr. Martha, clinical psychologist and geriatric relationship counselor with 30 years of helping older couples rediscover emotional and physical closeness. Daniel, a veteran social worker who spent decades strengthening bonds in aging communities through empathy and practical guidance. Let's dive in. What are they talking about today, and how can their insights help you?
Have you ever noticed two people who share every meal, every memory, yet somehow drift apart? It happens far more than most couples admit.
Absolutely. I meet pairs who love each other deeply, but feel awkward about affection now that life's pace has slowed. They assume the spark should feel like it did at 20, when really it can evolve into something even richer.
Exactly. Intimacy after 60 isn't about recreating youth, it's about creating presence. Less performance, more connection.
And connection starts with conversation, not small talk, heart talk. Even a simple, "I miss feeling close, can we chat?" can open a brand new chapter.
Once that door opens, you realize intimacy isn't only physical. It's holding hands, sharing a laugh, listening, all the small acts that weave trust.
Trust makes people feel safe, and safety invites closeness. When bodies change, we adjust with patience, with humor, with love.
Silence, though, breeds distance. I urge couples, be brave, ask questions, seek gentle solutions. Even a back rub, a lingering hug, a soft shoulder touch whispers, "I'm still here. I still choose you."
Break the routine when you can. A new walk, kitchen dancing, revisiting an old song, those sparks light the way.
Love doesn't retire, it evolves. Show up in simple ways, and closeness returns, often deeper than before.
And let's not forget how important it is to accept our new pace. Slowing down doesn't mean we stop connecting. It means we have the chance to go deeper, emotionally and spiritually.
That's right, Daniel. Intimacy at this stage is not rushed. It can be slow and sweet, a long talk at the end of the day, reading beside each other, laughing over old memories. These moments built something just as real as passion did when we were younger.
In fact, I've seen couples who barely touched for years start holding hands again just because they decided to talk. It's amazing what honest connection can do.
It really is. And for anyone listening who feels like they're too far gone to fix things, please don't believe that. Your story isn't over. One brave conversation can change the direction of your relationship.
So, take that first step. Smile at your partner today. Sit down and say, "I want to be close again." That alone might open the door to healing.
And once that door opens, don't rush through. Walk slowly. Be gentle with each other. Learn each other again. Love isn't behind you. It's still ahead.
You know, Martha, I think one of the biggest myths out there is that intimacy after 60 is no longer necessary. People tend to talk about survival, blood pressure, joints, medications, but they forget to talk about desire, connection, touch.
That's such an important point, Daniel. Emotional intimacy is just as critical as physical health. In fact, studies show that couples who stay connected emotionally often experience better physical health outcomes too. It's all deeply tied together.
I often ask my clients, when was the last time you looked into your partner's eyes and smiled? And they pause. Sometimes they can't remember. Not because the love is gone, but because they stopped showing it.
Exactly. And when we stop expressing affection, we create space for loneliness, even in the same house. That's why reintroducing physical closeness, even in subtle ways, is so vital. A hand on the back, a gentle kiss on the forehead. These are healing touches.
And speaking of healing, one thing I've seen over the years is how many couples carry emotional scars from the past. Maybe there was a betrayal or a long period of silence. These wounds block intimacy.
And yet, forgiveness is possible. Not always easy, but possible. When both partners decide to move forward, not by erasing the past, but by growing from it, they can reconnect in powerful ways.
It's incredible what can happen when two people say, "Let's begin again," and truly mean it. That's the spark we're talking about. It's not fireworks, it's the quiet, strong glow of willingness.
Yes, Daniel. And I often encourage couples to get curious about each other again. Ask questions. Be playful. Flirt a little. Learn how your partner has grown, what they dream about now. We change over time, and so must our relationships.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Many seniors deal with physical limitations, but that doesn't mean intimacy ends. It just means we adapt. We listen to our bodies. We explore new ways of being close.
So many tools can help. Pillows for support, scheduling time when you both feel rested, or even talking to a doctor for advice. It's okay to ask for help. In fact, it's wise. It means you care about keeping your connection strong.
And above all, patience. Intimacy takes patience, especially as we age. We're not rushing toward anything. We're learning to be present with each other. That alone can be the most intimate act of all.
One more thing I tell couples. Let go of comparison. Don't compare your connection to how it was in your 30s. You're different now, and that's a gift. You can connect with more wisdom, more softness, more appreciation.
I love that. So many people carry silent shame because they think what they're experiencing isn't normal. But intimacy evolves. It doesn't disappear, it transforms.
And sometimes, intimacy looks like simple kindness, making a cup of tea, massaging your partner's feet, listening without interrupting. These are all forms of deep connection.
Or even expressing gratitude, telling your partner, "Thank you for being here. I'm glad we're together." These words can bring more closeness than grand romantic gestures.
And remember, it's never too late to try. Whether you've been married 50 years or only recently found love again, what matters is how you show up now, today, in this moment.
So don't wait for a perfect time. Start with what you have. Right now is always a good time to begin again.
Absolutely. Small steps lead to big change. A smile, a soft touch, a shared memory. That's where intimacy lives.
Martha, we've talked about the emotional side, the healing, the patience, but can we get a little more real about physical intimacy? Because let's face it, this is the part many seniors hesitate to talk about, but it's the one they're most curious about.
I'm glad you brought that up, Daniel. Physical intimacy is often treated like a taboo, especially at this stage of life. But we need to say it clearly. Desire doesn't disappear with age. It just shifts.
That's right. It might not be about frequency anymore. It might be about comfort, pleasure, and companionship. And that's just as beautiful.
Absolutely. For some couples, it may mean exploring new forms of touch or redefining what intimacy means. Sometimes the goal isn't intercourse, it's closeness, skin-to-skin contact, lying together, feeling safe.
Many seniors also struggle with insecurities about their changing bodies, about performance, and unfortunately, shame creeps in.
Yes, and I always remind them, this stage of life deserves tenderness. It's okay to say, I don't feel confident right now. Vulnerability can actually bring you closer. You're not alone in that.
I've heard from men who worry they're not enough anymore, and women who feel they've lost their appeal. But love isn't measured in inches or energy, it's measured in connection.
And communication is still the key. If something feels different, talk about it. If something hurts, say it. If you feel unsure, ask questions. Real intimacy is rooted in honesty, not performance.
And let's not forget about safety. With longer life expectancy and later life relationships, we also need to have frank conversations about sexual health. Just because you're over 60 doesn't mean those concerns disappear.
Exactly. Safe practices, regular checkups, even speaking to your doctor about options that support physical intimacy, like lubricants, hormone therapies, or treatments, shouldn't be taboo. They're responsible.
And when mobility or chronic conditions make physical intimacy more challenging, it's not a signal to stop, it's an invitation to adapt. There are so many ways to be close.
Sometimes I tell couples, light a candle, turn on soft music, make a cozy space, take the pressure off, and just be together. Hold each other. Let go of expectations. That's where true intimacy breathes.
It's so true. And even just 10 minutes a day of closeness, non-sexual touch, affection, eye contact, can keep a relationship feeling fresh.
And we can't forget the power of laughter. When couples laugh together, they release stress. They reconnect. Even laughing in bed about clumsy moments or aging aches, it's intimacy.
Martha, I remember a couple who came to one of my workshops. They were both in their 70s and had been distant for years. But after a few conversations, they started sitting closer. By the third session, they were holding hands. It was like watching two people fall in love again.
That warms my heart, and it proves something vital. Intimacy is not bound by time. It's about attention, effort, and care. You can revive what you thought was lost.
So if you're watching this and thinking, it's too late for us, I hope you hear this loud and clear. It's not.
There is no expiration date on closeness. No rule that says you must live apart emotionally just because your hair has turned silver.
And there's no shame in reaching out for help. A counselor, a doctor, a trusted friend, even conversations like this can be the starting point.
And you deserve joy, not just survival, but joy. You deserve to be touched with love, to be seen with affection, to be heard without judgment.
So tonight, as you settle in, maybe look at your partner and say something small. I miss you. Or I'm glad we're here. Let those words be the beginning.
And know this, you're not alone. Many couples are walking this path with you, and it's a path worth walking.
You know, Martha, as we wrap up this important conversation, I think it's time we remind people that intimacy isn't just about touch, it's also about legacy. What kind of emotional memories are we leaving behind for our partners?
Yes, Daniel. Because in the end, it's not the big romantic gestures that stay with us. It's the quiet, consistent expressions of care. The way someone folds the blanket over your feet. The way they say your name when you're tired.
Or how they wait for you at the doctor's office. The way they still laugh at your old jokes. These are the things that build emotional intimacy, moment by moment.
And those moments are like glue. They hold us together during the tough times, grief, illness, even the loss of desire. Because life isn't always easy, but love can still be strong.
I've seen couples navigate Parkinson's, cancer, strokes, hard journeys. And through it all, their intimacy survived. Not because they ignored reality, but because they adapted to it together.
That's true intimacy. Choosing to be present for someone not because you have to, but because you want to. Because their comfort, their peace means something to you.
And that kind of connection can inspire younger generations too. When children and grandchildren see you holding hands, see you laughing and caring for one another, it teaches them what lasting love looks like.
It's a legacy of love. And for couples who feel disconnected, I want to say don't underestimate what one kind act, one thoughtful gesture can do. It can restart something you thought was long gone.
Even something as simple as, "Would you like a cup of tea?" Or, "Tell me about your day." These small openings make space for big healing.
And I think it's important to note, don't wait for your partner to make the first move. Be the one who says, let's spend a little time together tonight. That initiative is powerful.
And if you're in a relationship where you feel resistance, don't jump to conclusions. Your partner may be dealing with fear, physical pain, or embarrassment. Meet them with understanding, not blame.
Compassion is the greatest tool we have. And compassion starts with ourselves, too. Aging is a journey. We must learn to forgive our bodies, honor our limits, and still believe we are worthy of closeness.
That's beautiful, Martha. And as we close, let's leave our viewers with this. You are not past your prime. You are in a new chapter, one that still has love, still has joy, still has meaning.
Every wrinkle tells a story. Every gray hair is proof that you've lived and loved. Intimacy now might be quieter, but it can also be deeper, more honest, more fulfilling.
So don't be afraid to hold your partner's hand, to sit closer on the couch, to say, "I still love you," even if it's been years.
It's never too late to begin again.
And if this conversation touched your heart, we'd love to hear from you. Share your story in the comments. Let someone else know they're not alone.
Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Paradox for more heartful, helpful conversations.
Thank you for being with us. Here's to living your best life at every age.
With love, grace, and connection.
Wow, what a heartfelt conversation that was. If you're anything like me, you probably felt every word. We laughed, we reflected, and maybe we even healed a little. Thank you so much for being here. Today, Dr. Martha and Daniel helped us understand that intimacy in our senior years isn't about youth. It's about presence. It's about being seen, being heard, being loved just as we are. They showed us how emotional connection, gentle honesty, and small everyday gestures can breathe new life into even the quietest relationships. We learned that it's never too late to hold hands again, never too late to say, "I still choose you," and never too late to feel joy, comfort, and closeness, whether it's through a shared memory, a soft touch, or simply sitting beside each other in silence. If you've ever felt like the distance between you and your partner was growing, I hope this video helped you feel a little closer tonight. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up for yourself, for your partner, and for the love that still lives inside you. I'm Peter Brown, and this is Elderly Paradox. If I could, I'd come through that screen, give you a warm hug, and say, you are loved, you are worthy, and this chapter of your life matters just as much as any before it. So please, stay with us. There's more to share, more to learn, and so much more life to live. Until next time, stay safe, stay soft, and stay open to love. God bless you all. Love you deeply. Signing off with a full heart.